Hey, what's up guys? Legal Bro here. We've got some breaking news on FTX. We've had 2 FTX executives plead guilty in the last 24 hours. Caroline Ellison, former CEO of Alameda Research, and Gary Wang, one of the major players in all of FTX. Gary Wang pleaded guilty to 4 counts. Caroline Ellison pled guilty to 7 counts, one of which is money laundering. I'm giving it away for free down here. You got to stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm going to tell you who hasn't pled guilty yet. SBF out of jail for now. Wait to find out how much he had to cough up to spend the holidays with his folks in California. Let's get into it. First things first, we've got Caroline Ellison pled guilty on December 22nd, 2022. But this isn't over yet, folks. She still needs to be sentenced. But part of this sentencing will include her cooperating against other co-conspirators, aka Sam Bankman-Fried. Caroline Ellison does not get her day in court to figure out how much time she will spend in federal prison until she proves that she has fully cooperated with the feds. What does that mean? She has to basically open up Pandora's box and show exactly what she did, what everybody else did. And that's what she had to do in pleading guilty. Obviously, after this, Caroline Ellison will be a convicted felon. So let's get into it. Take a look here. Side note, folks, Kevin O'Leary's hearing Mr. Wonderful the other day. He said that this was all CZ's fault. Binance took down FTX. And if it wasn't for CZ opening his big mouth and blabbering on Twitter, you can be the decider in the comments section. Then Kevin O'Leary said none of this would ever happen. Newsflash, take a look at what I'm giving you away for free in the comment section. This is the actual federal filing that says the conspiracy to commit wire fraud on customers that Caroline Ellison just pled guilty to. Yeah, it's been going on since on or about 2019, Mr. Wonderful. This wasn't anything that CZ might have been shifting deck chairs on the Titanic, but he didn't sink it. This ship has been going down, baby, for a long time. Conspiracy to commit wire fraud from at least in or about 2019 until November 2022. Willfully and knowingly did combine, conspire, and agree together with each other to commit wire fraud. Right? Go down a bit further. What are we seeing here? CoffeeZilla. CoffeeZilla must sit there with his magic ball. Read this, folks. Look at this. Ellison agreed with others to defraud customers of FTX.com by misappropriating customer deposits and what? Using those deposits to pay expenses and debts of Alameda. Not good. Count 2, wire fraud on customers. Not good. At least 2019, Mr. Wonderful, until November 2022. Let's take a look down here. What do we see? Ellison, along with others, engaged in a scheme to defraud customers of FTX, misappropriating customer deposits and using those deposits to pay expenses and debts of Alameda. Just like what Coffee said Sammy Boy was doing, and he lied about it. He lied. Sam outright denied and lied that he had any information about it. Disclaimer, Sam's innocent until proven guilty, folks. Here we go. Count 3. Caroline Ellison pleads guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud on lenders. From at least June 2022 to November 2022. And let's go down a bit further. Ellison agreed with others to defraud lenders to Alameda by providing false and misleading information to those lenders regarding Alameda's financial condition. What strikes me the most about count 3 is that we know that Alameda and FTX had probably the worst record keeping of any billion-dollar company. So what was Caroline giving to these lenders or using as financials? What's Caroline Ellison going, yeah, we're Gucci here, don't you guys worry, just take this as gospel, we'll be good. Like, you don't even have any record keeping, and seems like that one might have been a slam dunk. Wire fraud on lenders, again, 2019 until November 2022. And hey, Mr. Wonderful might have got duped, right? I don't know. I mean, he seems like a smart guy. For him to blame it all on CZ seems like a cop-out to me. But, you know, if you disagree, let me know why. Look it down here, count 4. Ellison, along with others, engaged in a scheme to defraud lenders to Alameda by providing false and misleading information to those lenders regarding Alameda's financial condition. Again, same old story, providing false and misleading information regarding Alameda's financial condition. Count 5, Caroline Ellison pleads guilty to conspiracy to commit commodities fraud. From at least 2019 till when? November 2022. Caroline Ellison and others willfully and knowingly did combine, conspire, and agree together with each other to commit an offense against the United States. To wit, commodities fraud. Here we go. Let's get down to the juicy part. Ellison agreed with others to defraud customers of FTX trading, intending to trade swaps by misappropriating customer deposits and using those deposits to pay expenses and debts of Alameda. Another one on the board for CoffeeZilla. Let's go down a bit further. What's it say? Caroline Ellison and others misappropriated FTX customer deposits in order to, among other things, satisfy loan obligations owed by Alameda. Disgusting. Count 6. Caroline Ellison pleads guilty to conspiracy to commit securities fraud. May 2022 until November 2022. Let's go down to the good part. What do we see here, folks? Ellison agreed with others to engage in a scheme to defraud investors of FTX.com by providing false and misleading information to those investors regarding FTX's financial condition. Wait a second. The same financial condition that Ray has been trying to unpack for the better half of a month and a half, and is like, this is an absolute mess because everybody is using Slack. They have QuickBooks as their main tool to keep their financials. They're sending customer invoicing on Slack. Absolute disaster. This is kind of hard to believe. Just imagine for a second the financial disclosures and forecasting that $1 billion company would have to do to not mislead investors. Now imagine that same company just creates out of whole cloth these financials without an accounting department. All they have is QuickBooks. They send everything on Slack, including their invoicing. I mean, this is what Ray has been saying all along, right? Is that, look, there's no way that any of this is reliable. Now we know that's supported by Caroline Ellison's guilty plea. In furtherance of the conspiracy, what do we see here? The following overt act, among others, was committed in the Southern District of New York and elsewhere on September 18th, 2022. Interesting. Ellison and others misappropriated FTX.com customer deposits in order to, among other things, satisfy loan obligations owed by Alameda. Let's pause for a second. A co-conspirator caused an email to be sent to an FTX investor in New York. Does anybody remember my other video showing what Sam has been charged with and what one of those charges was? Let's think about who the co-conspirator in this guilty plea is referring to for a second. Did Caroline snitch on Sammy Boy? And the email contained materially false information about FTX.com. Count 7, last one. Count 7, money laundering. Count 7, Caroline Ellison pleads guilty to conspiracy to commit money laundering. I don't know what was more shocking to me when I read through this. The fact that Caroline Ellison just pled guilty to conspiracy to commit money laundering, or the fact that it was going on since at least 2020. Let's take a look. Let's get into it. Caroline Ellison and others, known and unknown, knowing that the property involved in a financial transaction represented the proceeds of some form of unlawful activity, would and did conduct an attempt to conduct such financial transaction, involve the proceeds of a specified unlawful activity. The transaction was designed in whole and in part to conceal and disguise the nature, the location, the source, and the ownership, and the control of the proceeds of specified unlawful activity. Ellison, others, known and unknown, would and did knowingly engage in attempt to engage in monetary transaction. Ellison, others, known and unknown, would and did knowingly engage in attempt to engage in a monetary transaction in criminally derived property of a value greater than $10,000. Now I feel like we're about to find out what that is at some point. Either Ray or someone is going to blow the lid off of how much was actually misappropriated. Absolutely disturbing. But if you like this video and you want to see more, take a look up here. I did another video breaking down Bernie Madoff and all the things that he was convicted guilty of. Until next time, love y'all. Happy holidays.